you could say.
The 4th place curse he used to have all the time. But here we go. It's going to be game number 1 between Kris Phoenix and ClassicMetal. ClassicMetal going to be bringing in some moles with a tier 1 heavy army, including some mines as well for some clearage. Meanwhile, Kris Phoenix to the southeast will be bringing a pretty standard army, it looks like.
Fairly standard,
tier 1,
yeah.
tier 2, tier 3's healthy mix.
Kris has a good army to deal with what CM has, I think. If he gets those skunks up, those can really start doing work.
Alright,
and with the map this way, it's gonna be interesting to see what ends up happening, because this is not a very good rush map.
No, this is... Well, there was a chance he could probably try it, but just because of how far apart their bases are, there's a water hazard in the middle, he wouldn't really get there in time to do a mole rush, and he knows that already. He already put down food for farms, so we're not going to see a mole rush coming in. That being said, mole is still pretty useful for frontline defense, so we're going to see if he's going to decide to put them on the field or not. But in the meantime, both sides just going to be content with putting their farms on the field.
Yeah, and looks like we do have Kris going for 6 farm squirrel, whereas CM is going to go for 6 farm double squirrel. So despite the long distances, both players are favoring some early aggression here.
Yeah. I mean, it's a pretty common trend to be a little wary of this kind of aggression. Both sides just... You want to get those early units just in case your opponent does go for that rush. And Kris Phoenix, though, he's going to be able to scout things out pretty easily. Has the high ground to work with. That is
Kris is moving forward with 3 squirrels.
He is putting his squirrels very far up forward.
CM doesn't really see them just yet, but if Kris gets any kind of fight here, yeah, he's going to start pulling back. Okay. CM might get some shots off.
This actually could be a death trap for these squirrels here.
Yeah,
that water's going to have their movement. One squirrel's being chunked down. Another squirrel going to be shot down as well.
Okay.
Going to make it up the hill at the very least, but one squirrel trade there. No trade at all, actually. It's a slight victory for ClassicMetal.
Yep. The squirrel that lived. And Kris is going to go for his skunks now. So 2 tier 1 into tier 2. It's fairly standard timing.
A pretty good reading of the map, too, knowing that the water hazard here is going to make things really difficult for ClassicMetal to cross the way, especially because of his very landlocked-based army. No flying units except for the pigeons, but they're not going to do too much defensively.
And Kris looks like he's adding on more squirrels for now, which may end up changing. Nope, just squirrels. There's going to be a squirrel skunk versus squirrel pigeon. If any fight happens soon, CM looking to add some ferrets now, so that's in the water. These ferrets could add in a lot of pressure.
The scary part is when he gets anything combined with the pigeons. That vision, that will just give them the extra range they need to hit across the water line.
I think we have a fight brewing though. Kris has moved across the water. His second skunk's going to be a little bit delayed, but it is on the way, and the pigeons are on their way as well.
And that skunk is actually going to be able to lay down some gas here. Some nice early vision for the skunk, and here we go. Going to lay down a bit of gas here to just wear down a bit of ClassicMetal's units, but the skunk is ready to be taken out. And now ClassicMetal's just going to overrun Kris Phoenix.
ClassicMetal almost lost almost no squirrels there. Skunk unfortunately couldn't stand and fire for a few times, which is really what he has to do. You just need us.
The trap that a lot of players sort of fall in with the skunk is that they just lay down the gas and just sit there, hoping that they get the kills. But ClassicMetal just moves his units through the gas, avoiding the damage completely.
Yeah.
And now he has a ferret on the front line, on the high ground, where it's very hard for him to be touched.
Kris does have the pigeons, but if that ferret just gets some shots at units in the water, he's definitely going to get some good value there.
Even then, with that vision of the pigeon, there's a lot of hazard that Kris has to walk through.
CM has built a second mill in the background and is getting quite a few pigeons to just tank through this skunk gas, it looks like. Which can mean that if Kris goes for more direct damage units, like his Badger, for example, or some Toads, then these pigeons could...
Yeah, this Badger is... Oh, I thought he was going to go for a Badger, but it looks like he's just going to go grab a farm.
Yeah, we're at about 4 minutes.
Now he'll grab a Badger? No, he's going to go grab another base?
Or maybe he was checking to see if CM built that base for some reason.
Careful, he's floating a lot of food right now.
Yeah, he's got to start spending. The CM is going for economy right now. He's got 4 farms building on his expansion. Whereas Kris is going for more skunks and squirrels, so no Badger from him.
So the sort of scary thing about ClassicMetal, though, is that he doesn't really have too much of a way to contest the choke point. He does have ferrets to attack from the back line.
He has a very strong army position right now.
Yeah, but if he ever wants to attack into Kris Phoenix's base, he needs to be very aware of his options. However,
Yep.
Kris Phoenix has been obliging ClassicMetal by crossing the river himself, so maybe that's all ClassicMetal needs, just waiting for Kris Phoenix to make the first move.
And CM's endgame, I suppose, could just be a bunch of moles. And CM is just set up for this defense for now. He has those 3 mines protecting the most likely angle of attack that Kris could be going for. And his army is just in a prime position, like on that high ground, surrounded by cliffs on 3 sides.
Kris, he's actually going to take the
Go
bridge route this time, though, so he has his own high ground. But he has to be very careful. The mines are right in
CM
front of him.
doesn't see it.
Oh, he
Okay,
sees
now he
squirrel.
sees the single squirrel.
He knows something's up right now. Here we go.
Yeah, CM has to suspect it now. And CM is not going to go for it, because he obviously has those mines there.
Oh, he has to be very careful. He's trying to get
Yeah, that's fine. These skunks are going to live.
And here we
There's
go.
only 1 mine left, so now... Okay.
ClassicMetal has to be very careful. He's going to be crossing his entire army
Lots
through the gas
of
line.
gas.
But the
Oh,
skunks are in
this
the
is
front
good.
lines here. A lot of explosions going for ClassicMetal's own toads. But that skunk is actually starting to do some damage. ClassicMetal losing
Yes,
all of his
out of
squirrels.
squirrels.
And now they're going to be chased down by the squirrels one by one. The mines are not doing enough. The skunks are gone from Kris Phoenix's army. They are going to be revived very soon. Meanwhile, Kris Phoenix trying to march his way through, but his own squirrels are starting to lose health right now. So he has to back up. But he's going to go through the water once again. So this is going to ensure another squirrel death at the very least. And now
was
it's
okay from
ClassicMetal
Kris.
is
He
not
did
going to
lose.
chase though.
Yeah. Was okay from Kris, considering the angle the fight was happening. The skunks did a lot of work that fight.
And it looks
Okay.
like both sides start to have to stabilize right now, but here's the problem. Kris Phoenix only on 5 farms right now. ClassicMetal with a very healthy 10 farm count for himself.
Both players did lose a lot of army during that fight, but the shorter reinforcement distance meant that CM could eventually push back Kris's advance with only losing 1 Warren. And now CM has been ahead in economy for a while. It's 10 farms to 4, and CM knows that Kris does not have this back base, so unless Kris sells some of his skunks, which were a big part of the reason why he won that last fight, unless he does that, there's no real way for him to accelerate his economy now.
And the question is, does he really need to cross the river to attack into ClassicMetal? Because
He will have to eventually, because CM is going to feel confident now that he knows Kris is in a bad spot economically. So if CM just gets his ferrets in range, there's no real way for Kris to contest that, and then he can start bleeding Kris dry.
all right now, Kris Phoenix is going to be a little bit disbarred from crossing that river there. The ferrets doing their work. And Kris just gonna have to sell for some farms right now. He's definitely still very far behind in terms of the economy. He does have, at the very least, he has a higher squirrel count. He has his skunks. As long as he can find some way to manage the large toad.
CM has 15 pigeons. That's
Yeah,
a squirrel. That's a pigeon per squirrel. So that will, unless the pigeons completely derp out and 15 stack a single squirrel.
All right, here we go.
CM's
The
army
Kris
should be
Phoenix
fairly
crossing the
healthy.
river once again. There are some mines on the way that he has to deal with, but the ferrets are making their shots. In the meantime, ClassicMetal is thinking about buying some mill, it looks like. But
There's 1 mine,
on
2
scene-
mines. Okay, nothing lost to Kris. That's good.
All right, here we go. He's going to put his skunks on the front line and try to put down as much gas as they can, but the toads are doing so much damage right now. They kill all the skunks immediately, and now ClassicMetal try to worm his way through the gas. He is going to start being able to outnumber them, but now an extra skunk does come into the battlefield, laying
And
down
Kris
some
has
more
lost his
gas,
army.
but the pigeons are there for the healing. ClassicMetal does lose a good number, but Kris Phoenix loses more. And now, this time, it's going to be ClassicMetal who crosses the river as he makes his way across with both ferrets and pigeons, marking the path for this nullified army.
Okay, only picks off 1 Warren, but CM can just go again whenever he wants. The pigeons are all gone for Kris now.
Oh
He
no, he's
has
trying to
sold his
bring
Warrens.
his into the front line once again, and he
But
is
with
going to escape for
15
the time being.
pigeons, nothing's gonna die. Like, CM, he can do whatever in this game right now.
And he saw the skunks coming in and just like, you know what, I'm just going to heal through all that gas if possible.
Yeah, that's a 7 heal stack toad. How do you kill that? With a fox, I guess.
Well, Kris Phoenix doesn't have an option to go for that basher, but he has nowhere near enough money. His ferret, CM's ferret just did a whole chunk of damage to that skunk, so that skunk has to retire for a little while.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
It lives.
Oh boy.
It lives. But yeah, Sam can just move. It's what we call the 1A, the attack move forward with everything, and probably win at this point.
Pretty
But
much.
he's gonna play it safe.
Again, is there any real reason for ClassicMetal to actually really cross the river? He has a
To
good
win the
economic
game,
advantage
yes.
here.
He will probably have to cross the river if he wants to win the game.
I mean, he could just starve out Kris. That's a possibility. Go for like a 20.
There's
minute
another
game.
mill for Kris available. It hasn't been touched yet. Oh, here comes the
Oh,
moles.
well, ClassicMetal says no to that.
Kris is gonna see it. So, okay, CM sells it.
I think he's playing with him just a little
He's
bit.
trying
right
to do some fancy things, but he doesn't have to.
He has-
CM's just going to get more farms now, I guess. This is giving Kris time, but Kris he is going to get a Badger, so the Warren is on its way.
Now, the Badger is going to be built there.
Which CM has not scouted. But even if there is a Badger,
So
if a few toads detonate on it.
we sort of seen this situation before, I have to say, where you get their Badger out, but your Badger is too far out in front and dies instantly. So Kris needs to manage his units a little bit better here. We saw what happened earlier when he put the skunks on the front line, is that they all just disappeared from the battlefield immediately.
Yeah, this Badger is going to be coming out eventually. Kris is going to delay it even further by grabbing a mill, so it's going to take time. And CM is just... what did he get? He bought more farms and building in more landmines. He's subscribing to the idea that whoever makes the first move loses, so he's just going to wait. Sit pretty, I guess.
Every single time that's happened, he has won almost every single engagement. So it makes sense that he wants to play it this way.
Yeah. So we will have to kill some more time. How's the weather?
Well, bright and clear, a little bit this nice early morning dawn glazing over the field right now. And CM gonna go on a little
Badger
bit
is on the way.
again.
It's gonna be about 15 seconds.
Oh,
CM wants to do something with his mole. No, he doesn't know it. He doesn't know it's there. But Kris is still he's on 3 farms. He's gonna be on 2 very soon. He has this mill. He can still build more economy, but just so much slower.
You have the Badger out, Kris. What is going to be your move? He's going to have his entire army. It looks like he's going to go for the bridge once again. And CM is right there, though, on the high ground waiting for him. This time, though, Kris doesn't bring his army across the river. He's being chased all the way in. CM has a giant following backing him. And here we go into the battle, the last-ditch effort for Kris. He is going to push away ClassicMetal. ClassicMetal not wanting to cross the river quite yet.
Everyone retreats. So...
Oh.
CM, okay. Thank
Kris.
God, CM.
Okay, but with this, CM has freed up some space to harass a little bit with his ferrets.
Yeah. If he'd been doing this for the past 2 minutes, Kris would be out of food right now. But I guess CM just playing it safe.
The Badger's marching in, has a good number of pigeons backing it up as well. 6 pigeons is a pretty good number to have in your Badger.
Yeah, but it's not very good for his squirrels because they die in 1 hit to the ferrets. Okay, CM's just gonna go for nothing but landmines because he can.
Is this the troll build?
Just in case he loses the fight, he will have 1 million landmines to back it up. He has 24 squirrels and 18 pigeons.
How many landmines does it take now due to their damage nerf?
They do 3 damage each, I do believe. So a Badger has has like 40 or 45, maybe 50 nowadays, I don't know.
That's going to be a lot of mines he's going to have to rely on.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Kris is building up some more economy. CM can get 1 more mill and then get another one on high ground, so it's going to be a doozy.
The scary thing, though, is still that CM just has a huge army value.
Yes, he could attack and win the game, but he's deciding not to.
Now, granted, a lot of that food is also in the form of mines, so...
well, yeah, he does have a bunch of mines, but if you look at the income graph for all of the games, CM has been ahead by a significant margin. And if you look at the army value graph, CM has been ahead by a significant margin. So, do you believe in miracles, best team maker?
Well, okay, it depends. Do you remember that match, that doubles match we cast? I think it was you casted with me. It was Nathan and Josh versus Blowdeer and Chip.
I don't think I casted the doubles in a long time, so it probably wasn't me.
That was an amazing comeback made by Blowdeer. The 2v1 situation, they killed off Chip very early on, but Blowdeer was able to hold on for a good while. And I think he actually won one of those games in the 2v1 situation. He lost the other 2v1, but then Chip and Blowdeer had a better early game that allowed him to win the set. But again, behind a little bit, but allowed time to recover is a scary thing indeed. And Kris Phoenix is going to invest back into more.
We're looking at 2-to-1, well, 3-to-1 almost army value ratio. So I wouldn't call that a little bit behind.
I mean, it's something. I mean,
at the least, Kris has a functioning economy now. He has 9 farms. It's going to go up to 10. Because CM is like, hey, I'm going to win eventually. So if CM loses, I think it serves him right. But we will have to see if that does end up happening, because his army is massive.
Yeah, and the scary thing is that now Kris has money to invest into skunks, and if he has a massive skunk army backing the Badger, how does CM actually attack into that? Especially across this water line with very narrow passageways. So ClassicMetal is on a timer, weirdly enough. He's so far ahead, but there's a timer on him for some reason.
If CM loses, it's his own fault. That's all I'm saying.
He will never hear the end of it.
Like, those 18 toads he has can definitely do some damage if they connect, because there's not too much firepower on Chris's side to stop toads. Okay, well, I think CM is eventually going to have to make a move to defend this mill.
He's going to grab the final mill on his side right now, so all mill is currently bought out by CM on his side. Kris has still one more on his own side. So there is a chance it could be a starvation war to win, but ClassicMetal's actually going to make his move. He has a giant army leading his way down to the south side of the map here. Kris has a fresh farm here, nothing to defend it right now. All right, here we go. 18 pigeons volunteering to give vision for the army. Meanwhile, Kris Phoenix gonna be a little careful. He's gonna try to go for the wraparound here, but
don't feel CPUs. Badger Warren goes down. Okay, no, so that second Badger doesn't come out.
All right, here we go. Into the battle we go. So many toads on the front lines. Everything's dying on Kris Phoenix's side. But the skunk at least do get their gas down, but the Badger's also
Chris's army is dead.
Yep, there it is.
The squirrels just ran through the gas, and all the ferrets are still alive, so eventually Kris will win this. I mean, CM will win this, not Kris. He's gonna pick off all of these units. He has so 8 ferrets. That's Kris down to 1 farm. Thank you, CM. Kris putting up a good fight though. He was doing like he was doing the right moves.
He's not tapping out though. He still has a chance.
He has a skunk and a dream.
Maybe.
He still has a skunk and a dream.
Okay. Well,
skunk and a... Okay, now he just has a dream. Yeah. I believe this is the...
He dreamed a dream, but it
the march forward.
True.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, that was game 1. Alright.
It's that situation where if you're putting your units so far out in front, of course they're going to get bared down so quickly. So, no two people... Don't put your units out in the front like that. Put your tier 1s in the front. That's what their purpose is at this point in the game.
Yeah, CM's he had those ferrets to poke with, but he was like, nah, I don't need to. And he was right.
Yeah.
He was right eventually.
Well, here we go again. ClassicMetal going to be sticking with the same deck. Interestingly enough, and Kris Phoenix going to change things up just a little bit, taking out a few things and adding moles, mines, and foxes.
Yeah, so
and lizards.
Very different style here. So
really
no squirrel skunk.
Really, the only thing that stayed the same is the pigeon.
Yeah, pretty much.
And
then again, CM does the same thing. Yep.
Alright, so we have another nearly bisected map once again, but this time there's a much wider land bridge.
Yeah, this time there's a feasible angle of attack for both players. We have ClassicMetal in a very nice starting base, all the way up in the north corner, and then Kris in a decent spot in the southwest.
Yep, and Kris Phoenix going to go for the early 5-farm lizards.
5-farm lizard.
Common play.
And CM's farms are somewhat exposed to this, but not too much. CM does
is on 7 farms though,
so I believe.
Kris will have some units to actually attack into this.
CM did scout the Warren, so he's putting down his squirrels now on 6 farms. Kris, okay, going for 6 farms as well. So I believe by the time, Kris gets here, CM has enough to defend. If Kris attacks at all, which does look like it. Okay.
No, he could. I mean, this is the reason that you go for the 5-6 farm timing with your lizards, that you want to have that early aggression. You want to just poke away at your enemy, and ClassicMetal only has 1 unit on the field right now.
Yeah, Kris is... Oh, he's going for mole lizard. Okay.
Okay,
7 farms,
this is actually scary.
Yeah, if this gets to hit the Warren, okay.
No,
never
okay,
mind.
he changes his mind.
Oh.
ClassicMetal goes for his mines and moles though, so he's pretty well defended now at this point.
Yeah, Sam can just... this is the beauty of like these mind games, is you can just react, and if it's not necessary, Sam's probably going to sell his mole, depending. I guess he might keep it, because mole, pigeon, squirrel is still pretty good.
I mean, you have a nice little tinky frontliner. It does good, decent damage.
Yep.
Just a little bit slow though for the lizard against
See,
lizard.
I'm adding on toads because he's seeing nothing but lizards so far from Kris, so definitely a good move. Kris doesn't have his own landmine, which is on the high ground outside of ClassicMetal's base.
Oh, there it is. It's on that. Okay, there it is.
Yeah, the thing is, one landmine doesn't really do anything nowadays. You need a
No.
cluster of 3 to kill most tier 1s.
I would assume that he's just using it for some vision right now. He doesn't want to use
it's
too much of
possible.
his food. He's actually gonna go for Fox. Yep. And Fox.
Okay. I kind of like this from Kris. He just needs to survive and deny CM the scouting opportunity. The Fox Warren is all the way in the back, so no, there's no way.
Oh. No, he's not.
There's no way he sees that.
So there's been a lot of talk about early rushed Fox, about how strong it possibly can be. We are also seeing Kris Phoenix starting to put down some more mines here. Now, CM has a window of here. He has to be very careful.
Oh, this is very good.
Through, but one mine is going to pop for a little bit, and I just have one pigeon to heal at the very least.
CM is just going to try and brute force this. The Fox will start building, but it has 40 seconds to go. And these 40 seconds are crucial now. So CM is going to try and deny more mines.
Hold here. Just protect his lizards. Oh, well, not anymore. No more lizards.
No, there's still moles alive. One mole does die. They're not getting healed. But
yeah,
I believe
he's actually losing a lot of farms right now.
Yeah.
He's going to get starved. He might as well just lose at this point.
Yeah, he's only got one farm left at this point. Two,
Fox
sorry.
still needs about 20 seconds.
He's going to lose his last farm here. The pigeons are dead at least.
He is going to be able to kill off the moles, so the mill damage isn't there. And
now,
he's not in starvation mode yet.
He has a farm, and he's going to have a fox very soon.
He's going to probably sell a lizard in order to build a farm. There it is.
Yep.
And right now the fox is going to be live. Will this be enough?
He has no vision though.
Oh, he has to move his fox away from the toads, so that's going to do a lot of damage. But he is going to be able to escape from the
so now Kris is starving. He does have the farm building.
Pigeons down.
Yeah, CM is going to start focusing it down. Okay. Yeah, the fox doesn't do enough DPS to kill off these units. It's picking off units one by one, but Kris is starving, doesn't have any food. Kris cannot build a farm. Yeah, he's on 50 food. If he sells his landmine, he guess I can. Or he can, I guess, but he has about 9 seconds to kill the landmine, to sell the landmine and come back. But yeah, this is going to be...
He has more reinforcements coming on the way. This fox is not going to be able to shoot fast enough. Yeah. Toad's doing a lot of damage on top of that mill right now. They're slowly chipping away. Is it going to be enough? Toad down.
The squirrel lives.
Toad down. Oh, pigeon! Oh, all these units protecting the squirrels. One by one, they filed in, throwing their bodies in front of that one lone squirrel, the hero of this army here right now.
Alright, so that's going to be 2-0 for ClassicMetal. Let's go into the third game of the best of 5, so CM could take it.
Kris Phoenix has to go for the 3-game reverse sweep here if he wishes to move on in the winner's bracket. But ClassicMetal looking good right now. This deck that he's been working with has been serving him quite well, very adaptable to different situations. The only worry is that late game potential, but Kris Phoenix unfortunately has not been able to control his units quite as well yet. Still missing a bit on the execution on some of his movements.
Yeah, definitely a difference you can see between the players. But Kris is putting, the timing was good. Just CM's mole push was really strong as well.
Maybe he's going to have some toads of his own this time, it looks like. Probably to counter CM's own toads. And here we go into what be a possible final game. Game number 3 between Kris Phoenix and ClassicMetal. ClassicMetal on a relatively well-protected area, although he does have some high ground to work against. Meanwhile, Kris Phoenix definitely has the better starting position here on the tier 3 high ground himself. With Rogue.
All things considered, this is good for Kris. He can...
he has Rogue, he has high ground.
Yeah, it's nice. And he has high ground to attack CM from. So we'll see how it goes. Kris going for 5-farm Blizzard again. CM will probably scout this right away.
If he can get his Falcons up quickly enough, this could actually be really bad for ClassicMetal.
It's a good Falcon game, true. Unless CM gets that Fox out.
We haven't really seen CM go for the tier 3 though, so...
it's the first time he slotted it, so...
Yeah.
We'll see if it actually comes into play. Kris is delaying farms. So I don't know if he's going to go more lizards. Yeah, he's going to go...
Double lizard.
5-farm double lizard. This seems like an all-in to me, but CM is sniffing it out. He's going to go 6-farm, 2 tier 1s.
He does see the Warrens here. So
gets the farm count. Okay, so now Kris is going to backtrack, go back to farms, or...
Right now, just trying to scout things out right now.
Yeah, see, I'm adding in some toads already.
Now, Kris has not found a good way to deal with these toads yet.
Yeah. Oh, does get the commander, but then what does Kris do with it?
A farm. If you can pick up a farm, this is actually a really good trade. So let's see.
Does get the farm. Okay.
He's gonna go for a second farm. No, he's gonna retreat. And this time he doesn't lose too much. He only loses, I think, 2 lizards in that engagement.
Okay, now Kris is gonna go for farms of his own, but CM's army is, you know, CM goes for an attack. I guess it's a little bit blocked, but it should be fine. CM's composition is really good to deal with this.
Kris Phoenix, if he can get his timings down right, he has a lot of potential defending against any of ClassicMetal's attacks. And once again, ClassicMetal loses his life. This could be another farm, but ClassicMetal does have his units a little farther up this time, so they will be able to have their defense there in time. And Kris looks like he's going to go for Falcon.
Okay, so early Falcon from Kris. I do like this. Depends on how many toads CM ends up getting, or if he goes into... Yeah, he's going to go for more toads, so this is good for Kris.
Good. The Falcons are going to be able to do a lot here. I think those lizards are going to be... If he can
Double
get
Falcon,
dodge, a lot of the damage. This will be really bad for ClassicMetal, but right now he is putting a lot of food into Double Falcon.
And CM has not rebuilt his the farm that he lost, so this is really nice for Kris because he's got that extra farm ticking in and slowly but surely getting an advantage.
He has to bide some time though, as his Falcons are still building at the moment. So he is a little bit vulnerable to an attack by ClassicMetal, but ClassicMetal can't really attack into this easily. He does have a pigeon at the very least to give him some vision on high ground.
Yeah, CM is probably looking to do a very similar attack. So it's first Falcon, second Falcon is going to come very soon. But okay, it's going to be...
And he sees the Falcon and is probably a little bit wary of attacking into this right now.
I wonder how CM is going to adapt his composition here. Looks like he's adding on more squirrels. Okay, makes sense. So we have 3 Falcons out already. Fourth one is almost going to be done.
Which is pretty interesting, but here we go. The first engagement going underway right now. The
Falcon down.
Just demolishing the toads. One toad explosion does go down, another toad explosion as well. Is there enough squirrels outnumbered? The answer is no! The army is completely gone. Kris Phoenix barely scrapes it out ahead, but now he has the reinforcements making their way in through, and he's gonna try to pound as much as he can into ClassicMetal's side, but he does have reinforcements on the way. Toad's explosion is gonna go off, and both sides are gonna retreat to their own side of the map.
Both sides lost a lot. Kris technically can go again. He didn't kill a Warren, but he did damage one.
He has 8 farms to sustain a Falcon army. He's going to go for it again, it looks like.
Yeah, and CM hasn't rebuilt that 7th farm.
And for the first time, it looks like Kris Phoenix is in the lead. It's very slightly, but it's a pretty good lead for himself, and he's going to go into more tier 2s.
Okay, so with these, I guess the skunks will eventually work, but CM already has those pigeons up. The question is going to be what CM goes for once his army is rebuilt, so he can think about spending soon. Ferrets are not going to be a good idea. Okay, he's going to get some moles. I guess that kind of works.
He needs something tanky to kill off those
lizards. But moles is kind of... He's already behind, so if he loses another fight...
Oh no, he loses his life here. This actually could be it! Kris Phoenix is going to get a few seconds of scouting and not going to actually do anything right now.
CM has a lot of food again. Looks like he's going for tier 2 unless he goes... No, he's going for a milk. Okay.
I think he's sort of realizing his position and wants to go for some economy right now, but this is a pretty precarious situation.
Both players are on 4 farms. Kris has a very strong army though.
Kris is going into his own economy as well, as he knows ClassicMetal is not in the best of shape to actually attack into him, so this is a good timing for Kris Phoenix actually. And he has 6 tier 2s at the moment.
Yeah, Kris's army is very scary, but then again, if those toads do connect on the bulk of Kris's tier 1 force, which is all lizards, then ClassicMetal does have the army to fight this.
He needs to find some way to bait those toads out without most of them proccing their explosions.
Yeah, it's going to take some slick micro from Kris, where he uses his ferrets and skunks to draw out the toads, or to force them back, but it's tricky to do.
And here we go. The farm is now coming up for Kris Phoenix first. ClassicMetal actually put food into his army.
Yes, Yam is going for an all-in, it looks like, because he's not building any farms on his second base.
And he's on 2 farms right now. This is actually a pretty bad situation.
Now he's building one. Now Sam is building it. Okay.
He's trying to build some things, but it's still a bad situation for him. He has to win a fight for sure. but this is a pretty scary situation for ClassicMetal. Kris Phoenix has pretty much all the answers he needs to ClassicMetal's army. He has the Falcons to avoid
throwback
toe
to
damage.
game one, where
He has Skunks.
The army value is a lot closer, but the income has been in Kris' favor ever since the 2-minute mark. And considering we're almost at 7 now, Kris is going to start pulling ahead.
On the field right now, it looks like one gas, bit of gas here. The pigeons are going to be able to heal through at the very least, but it is going to force ClassicMetal to start moving around the map more with his army.
Yeah, just a little bit of skunk harass like this doesn't do much when pigeons are as good as they are. Our CM is going to take the farm lead because Kris is slowing down on his economy.
He built some toads of themselves recently now, so he has some. They have an AoE here, but he's going to use the skunks to harass, but the skunks are not. One skunk is going to go down, but there's a lot of gas on the field, but the pigeons are healing right through it, and Kris, in the meantime, not going to.
It's a good trade to CM. Kris being a little bit careless with his skunks there.
Food. What is he saving? Is he saving up for more Falcons? Okay.
More Falcons, but he's neglecting his economy now, so now CM is going to start catching up. Whew.
CM could start, but is it safe enough for CM to go anything else besides tier 1s right now? Can he go into a Fox or Ferrets?
I mean, eventually, there's more mills he can take. Both players are playing it very safe. Kris, understandable, since he can. This is, if he loses this, he goes to the lower bracket. CM has a few more tickets out. CM gonna go for more pigeons now. Probably suspecting more skunks like in game 1.
He's gonna lead with his Falcons now, but CM's gonna retreat immediately. He doesn't have much to answer against the Falcons, and he knows there's an army waiting behind Kris Phoenix's.
With this many Falcons, Kris can take some trades, I think. But nope, he's gonna go back, get some more farms again.
So, tier 1 count, ClassicMetal is gonna pull up ahead. Kris Phoenix only with 12 versus ClassicMetal soon to be 18. Squirrels and 6 toads and 12 pigeons. That's a lot of pigeons that CM has with him right now.
Yeah, it's 12 pigeons to fight against just 2 skunks. Might be a bit overkill, but we will have to see. CM floating a lot of food and is gonna go for that fox. Yep. So this is where it gets scary for Kris. If that fox comes out, Kris's investment is in Falcons, and we all know what happens to Falcons when your opponent has a fox. They just tend to disappear before you know what happens.
It does depend, though, if Kris is able to keep his lizard army alive and keep chasing the fox and put it in a bad position. So
the play Kris has to make is to run his tier 2s out in front to somehow kill the toads, but that exposes his tier 2s to the fox, which means his tier 2s will eventually die. And if he runs his lizards out in front to protect his tier 2s, then the lizards will die, leaving nothing to protect the tier 2s, and the fox kills the tier 2s again. So it's a bit of a lose-lose, unless Kris gets his own fox, and we get fox on fox, and CM has a million pigeons to keep his fox alive. So we will see.
And another thing we really haven't talked about is just that those pigeons are there's so many pigeons that they could actually just serve as body shields.
Yes.
For CM's army.
Yeah, CM's fox is about 20 seconds away, whereas Kris is going to take quite a few more. About a minute now, because the Warren needs to finish. And no player actually has defenses to deal with a fox, so it's going to be fox on fox. Kris has a lot of
whoever
food.
is able to get the first shot off gets the
advantage. With this many pigeons. Kris adding on some toads as well.
He was thinking about grabbing a mill, but got against it, and looks like he's going to be building more into his other farms back on the other side of the map.
A little bit exposed. Okay, now CM does have his fox, and it looks like it's finally time to do something.
Alright, is it safe enough for him to attack into it? Here we go. The first fox fire is underway. Picks off one lizard. Another lizard going down.
Fairly inconsequential at this point, although Kris is locked in this position. So there's something we haven't really mentioned, but CM can expand, has a few more expansion options, whereas Kris is kind of stuck here.
He could expand to the right side if he's able to get through.
Yeah, he can run there ideally, but with the fox already right here.
He's going to be charging just a little bit. His own fox is at the ready here, and now he has to be a little bit careful, but now both sides, it looks like their army might clash very soon. Not quite yet. The giant balls of fur and feathers not quite ready to kill each other quite yet.
Okay, so now CM's economy is going to start pulling ahead, and Kris looks like he did lose a falcon, because I was pretty sure he had 8.
Yep. The fox was able to pick up 1, as a 1 falcon was straying a little bit too far forward.
Oh!
Okay, that was a little scary. Don't leave your fox out in the front, people. Ooh, the gas is going to be down for a little bit. So this is a pretty interesting situation for both sides. ClassicMetal has to be very careful with his aggression, or else.
Oh, Kris is going to go pure.
Heavy Falcon.
Ooh, I'm not sure that's the play.
I mean, it could, if it overwhelms the rest of CM's unit, that fox is going to be very scared for its life.
I guess Kris is all in at this point because he cannot get more economy, realistically.
He could try.
So Falcon is, I mean, it's not realistic though. Like, he can run there, but then what is his answer if CM run this fox there and just snipe the pigs? Base race, I guess, but even that is a
little bit of a
tricky thing to do.
For Kris right now.
Falcon Ball might be the answer, but he needs to win a decisive
fight. Alright, here
fight.
we go. Looks like he's gonna go all in. Toe explosions going off on both sides. The Falcons are laying so much damage onto the field right now. The gas is also there. But right now the tier 1 army from Kris Phoenix is gone. And now the Falcons are slowly losing their life. But CM is gonna get chased out. Fox at half health. And CM loses a huge chunk of his army. His pigeons are also completely gone.
Okay.
So many Falcons doing so much damage. The Fox in the background as well, picking off any stray units that come behind. And now it looks like his back against the wall. He has one fox at the ready, but he's actually cornering
the fox gets
now.
killed.
The fox is gone.
CM loses his fox. Okay, that's it. That's it. That's Kris is gonna just roll all over this right now.
You remember the time when Falcon Ball was a worry for everybody? This is what happens when you allow 7 Falcons. It was 12 Falcons before, but this is what happens when too many Falcons just reach a critical mass.
Yeah, CM had 1 million pigeons, which just don't do enough against this much brute firepower.
It's like, you don't really think about the damage that Falcon does. You just think about it's a little bit too frail to be on the front lines, but Falcons do a lot of damage.
Yeah, and that's it. Okay, that's 2-1. Not gonna
we
get
have a
free.
series here, ladies and gentlemen. Kris Phoenix fighting back. A very nice early lead for Kris. A very scary bit of a middle game there for him as both sides were stalling and ClassicMetal was able to get his economy up and going, but so much Falcon pressure. Falcon plus gas is a scary, scary combo.
No amount of pigeons will save you from that. Grab a small
what pigeon? They just
break.
died immediately.
Yeah, they just
all
got
picked off by
battered.
Falcons.
Air superiority, as shown by Kris.
Like, they were meat shields for like 2 seconds. And ClassicMetal just didn't have enough damage. And this is sort of where we see the weakness of Fox, in that in these huge skirmish fights,
Yeah, the
Fox
Fox
is a liability.
has a very low DPS in most regular fights. Like, sure, it does a lot of damage in one hit, but if that hits a pigeon or a lizard, then you're only doing 9 damage, or, you know, in the case of a pigeon, I think it's, what, like 6 now? Because they have no HP whatsoever.
He also walked his entire army into the gas. Let's not forget that.
So yeah, maybe thinking that he had a stronger army than he did, because that's how he won the first game, by just running forward through the gas and keep pushing. But when there's about 8 Falcons overhead shooting down at you, that's not exactly the right play to make, because the Falcons will happily mow down everything.
The Falcons have just a huge amount of DPS, so let me see if I can... Can I check here? Sorry, I have to check in-game, but the damage for Falcons is pretty high, so...
It's a pretty good DPS, yeah.
Man,
or should I say, it's quite good.
Falcon Ball was once a thing.
I mean, it's still a thing. It's just with how popular Fox is, and early Foxes especially, it's really hard to get that up.
It's hard for Falcon Ball to actually exist, just because of how much money it costs. Like Kris had the early game advantage because of that. That was how he was able to slowly and surely get his Falcon army there. But yeah, a big win for Kris Phoenix. Now we're just waiting for ClassicMetal a little bit here. It looks like.
All right.
Just taking a bit of a breather here. Just that last game, underestimating Kris just a little bit there, and probably is going to readjust his deck once again. Probably going to forego the Fox this time.
Maybe it's I don't. Well, the Fox from Kris did a good job at countering CM's Fox. So yeah, Kris is going to go for the same army. Looks like.
I mean, it's a
don't change a winning team.
Darn good deck, honestly.
Yeah.
And ClassicMetal, thinking about that final unit, it's either going to be building or Fox, possibly. or something else completely different that is outside our prediction.
Yeah, it's gonna be okay. No ferret.
Oh,
He's gonna go for
snakes.
snakes.
Okay, this is
I'm gonna say a snake owl. Okay,
no
snake
mines.
landmine.
Snake. Well,
Okay.
one more. Yeah, there it is. All right, snake mines. That's a interesting choice indeed.
A little bit of a red
How
bug.
do you feel about if in that last situation, if he did have snakes out instead of fox? Would that change anything?
The snakes would overall contribute more to the fight, because Chris only had 3 pigeons.
What is this map?
It's
It
a
looks
split down the middle, but
it
there is a
is.
little path.
Deceptively not open. Look
Yeah.
at that. Those trees in the middle, Jared. There's one square of pathway between those trees,
Yep.
but no, not even. Not even a square. It's a wall. It's literally a wall of trees blocking both sides. So both sides have 2 passageways to each other. A very thin road to the south, which actually gives both sides access to each other's base very quickly, or they just route all the way through the plains to the north.
Yeah, so it looks like we have a repeat of the openings of pretty much every game in this series,
And this
except
is
when
where-
Chris didn't pick lizards.
Yeah, Chris going lizards is actually pretty scary now for ClassicMetal because of how
Yeah.
close your bases are.
If Chris gets his lizards on CM's side of the map, it's kind of tricky for CM. Well, not that much, because he is protected from the north, kind of.
Well, the way that Chris has been playing, he's actually pretty passive about a lot of his attacks.
Yeah.
He usually just he slowly waits for an opportunity. He doesn't go aggressively like say Arbuz would when he
Yeah.
has this early opening. But yeah, it does look like ClassicMetal will be able to get a double warrant out for himself. So Chris not going to be able to attack very safely into this. But he does have good control of this high ground at the very least with his lizards there being present, plus a bit of road to help them out in their movement speed.
Yeah, and Chris has these skunks again, so if a fight does break out on this
Oh,
narrow
this
path,
is prime skunk territory. Just put those
Chris
skunks on
running
the high
around,
ground.
scouting it out.
Oh, wait, he has his
Then
lizards to
not
the
doing
south just in
anything.
case.
Yes, lizards are in position, but if CM takes his high ground, then Chris's army is split.
Ooh, but he could go for a pincer. That is a
The
possibility.
pincers aren't very good at this game,
They're not,
especially
but-
not when Chris is floating 180 food. You're better to build a farm and build some units.
Is he gonna go fox?
No, he's just forgetting to build units because he was
Okay.
doing these fancy attack moves. He's going to go
Alright.
skunks and not go 8 farms.
I
Yep.
think it's okay here, honestly. The way that he's sort of positioned
Yeah,
himself.
I guess it's okay.
If he puts his skunks on the high ground there, it's near impossible for.
Yeah,
ClassicMetal
but
to
CM's not
attack
going
into
to attack into it.
it. Yeah, he
He
needs
just
pigeons
won't.
first, but he's gonna go straight into snakes himself.
I like this because Chris
Oh,
likes his tier 2s and he doesn't have
Classicmetal-
pigeons quite yet.
Giving his life for information, but he does not know what tier 2 it is quite yet. Gonna have
Chris
to.
added on his 8th farm as well,
He
so
put down
he's going
pigeons,
to
so
catch up.
he thinks it's skunk.
Which, is fair to expect. That's what
Especially-
happened in most
yeah.
games.
Especially with a map like this, where it's such a closed space right now, he will have one skunk at play, but it's gonna come fast enough. ClassicMetal already posturing his units on the high ground, but he doesn't want to attack into it quite yet. He doesn't have quite the vision of the high ground. No pigeon has disposal either, so attacking into this is pretty much suicidal. And here comes the gas.
CM can just ignore it. Skunk is in a very good position, obviously.
All right,
Oh, here comes the
is
snake.
up. Snake is coming.
Alright,
The
so.
snake will be walking through the gas a little bit there.
But he has
it looks-
pigeons already, so.
All right, here we go.
I
I'm not going
think
to talk
those
to it. 2
die.
lizards will lose their lives
Yeah.
there.
That's really good win for CM. Now there are falcons on the field as well for Chris, which can work again, as we saw, especially if CM goes for more pigeons. Yeah, he's gonna go for 9 pigeons again.
And more vision for Chris.
CM does have those mines in a very good position, so if those detonate on Chris's lizard force, then that's gonna be painful. This falcon is
It's-
exposed. Is Chris gonna
It's a
spot
little
it?
bit too far away though.
Yeah, I believe.
okay,
Oh,
one
there's
tick, 2
pigeons.
ticks, that's
There's
enough.
pigeons.
Okay, but yeah, he's gonna be healed. Just fine.
Oh, ooh,
Oh, his own commander taking
Oh,
the
God.
heals for the pigeons.
okay. Whew.
But slowly and surely he's gonna walk away into it. But here we go. This could be a bit of a death trap though. He's gonna lose a few pigeons there, but
Yeah,
nothing too
just
much.
the pigeons
Terrible.
lost for some
Snakes are
lizards
still
lost.
alive,
Not so
but-
much.
So this is sort of the scary thing about ClassicMetal attacking into this is that he has no way to sort of cancel out the skunks.
Yeah,
because
CM's
they're
play
positioning.
would be to go all the way up to the north. Then Chris, I think, like if
Still
CM,
attacking.
yeah, he's not going to kill anything now because there's pigeons on the
And
field.
Fox is coming out for Chris.
Oh, okay, that's good. Yeah, if
So
this
Fox is
fox,
currently building. Oh my gosh, this lizard living because of 3 stacks of healing.
Yeah.
Look at that. That is
Pigeons are
pretty
good.
awesome to watch, honestly. I like seeing pigeons working, you know?
Yeah.
Or the issue in the past where pigeons would not heal correctly, they'll move into weird positions, but now they heal.
See, I'm getting a
Heal
mole
well.
and
They
just
actually
getting
heal.
more squirrels. So Chris is waiting for his fox. It's going to be up in about 30-35 seconds. Now, what I would
So-
like CM to do is to risk a play by posturing up the north of the map. Then if Chris sweeps in through the south, he's going to hit all those landmines.
Alright,
But
Fox
I don't
is
know if we're
coming
gonna see
out. He has about 30 seconds left, so this is...
And neither player has an economy at this point. So we did
Chris,
hit the
though, he's gonna
5-minute
go
mark.
grab that mill in the forward. I'm not sure if I agree with that too much, just because of how much...
Well,
this
he'll
area is
have the
battlefield.
fox to defend it very soon.
Hopefully. So,
And he should be able to dissuade CM from attacking
There it
into
is.
this just because of the skunks.
Oh, but he doesn't know the tier 3's there.
Yeah.
He actually made his way north. He actually found something to the north side. And
Chris is
that fox
chasing.
is up.
So now it's Chris's game. All he has to do
Not
is...
Not only does he not know that there's a fox there, he does not know that he built a bigger tier 2 army.
Oh, the toad's going to clear the mines. Chris
Oh
must know there's mines here.
Perfect.
He only clears one.
Well, one mine is down, but that's good enough. That's not actually gonna kill lizards.
Yeah, you don't need to be scared of mines.
And now here we go. We can actually go for an attack here right now. Both sides. The sniper shot taking out one of the snakes, taking out the squirrel, and ClassicMetal immediately retreats. And this is actually a good opportunity for Kris Phoenix. He's going to try to attack his way forward right now. Toad explosion is going off though. Here we go. There's a lot of damage on top of Chris's units. He's losing a lot of his own numbers right now. The skunk is putting down some gas though, and
Yeah,
ClassicMetal
rather than
won't be able to
poke with
attack
the
into it.
fox,
But
Chris
is
decided to just take the
attacking.
fight.
3 damage is not enough to dissuade this fox.
There
This is
were
not the old
7
patch.
heal stacks on a snake at some point.
The snakes are gone though, and
This is what Kris needs to
supply
fight.
blocked all across the line. He only has his tier 1 army, but he's chasing through the smoke clouds right now.
Okay,
Kris
but
Phoenix
both
has his
players
own
are
tier 1
very
units to
low
defend
eco.
here.
Yeah, CM is out of units, and Chris has a fox, so I believe this is
game.
Chris's game to win, yeah.
If Kris Phoenix
Even though
attacks
he
right
kind
now,
of lost that fight.
he attacks right now.
There's nothing CM can do against this fox right now. Mines aren't going to kill it.
Keep up that pressure. He doesn't have any tier 2s right now though. He only has 7 lizards at his disposal, but this actually could be enough here as long as he keeps on pressuring with that fox. Fox is just shooting down shots left and right now, trying to poke away at CM, although he hits the commander instead. Now he actually takes out a squirrel. And ClassicMetal trying to posture himself a little bit forward.
Okay. Chris
All right,
sells a tier 2, so now he's going to get a falcon and a skunk, which is going to be huge, I think. As long as Chris keeps running this
Oh,
fox
no.
forward, it's fine.
The falcon coming back to life, the skunk also coming back to life. CM does have the snake at play, but it can be so easily sniped from a far distance.
Well, it needs 2 shots.
Oh, one shot. One more shot.
Oh, CM's going to try and kill this mill. I like this play from CM. Okay, trying to focus down the snake. Okay, cool. So
Oh,
that mill
it's
is
fine.
going to live.
CM actually has no army.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. He's gone. The commander's gone. Pigeon gone. That's game. This
That
fox can just sit around and pick off every single reinforcement. There is no... Yeah.
Chris just needs to
CM's
find
gonna run.
CM's base, and he doesn't find it yet, but yeah.
Alright, that's one base gone. CM gonna run around the map here. He has 433 food. He's gonna go for the mole player right now, but there's no way he has enough time. There's also a base to the far north, however, so this could be enough. ClassicMetal
CM?
building up so many moles right
Chris
now.
doesn't know about
7
the base
moles.
in the south. Chris
Can
doesn't
you
know
find
it's
that
there.
base? That's one more base, but he needs to hurry, quickly go. The moles are currently alive right now. They're gonna bash away at one of the mills.
CM,
CM,
what a god. Okay,
he
so
could
now
do
he
it.
does this.
Chris Phoenix
Now
needs
he
to find
needs
that
to-
bottom mill fast, or he needs to go defend. But ClassicMetal already making his way
And
forward
this mill
down.
isn't full HP.
He
CM.
needs to go there right
Yes,
now.
that's gonna
he
be
needs
it.
to defend, but the moles are there. They're bashing away at the base. That's game. CM takes it with the mole rush at the very end. Chris Phoenix unable to find the final base.
What the fuck just happened? Excuse my language.
Oh, he was hoping that ClassicMetal would call it in. No, he stuck to his guns, sold everything off for a final mole rush, and Chris, so unfortunate, could not find that final base to the south.
What? Well, I guess that's one way to win. Holy hell.
Oh my god.
That's a game, alright.
That was all Chris's to lose, and it happened.
Those moles, see, I'm selling his warrants and seeing the way out. Ooh, hoo, 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 hoo.